want to welcome y'all back to Harvest to Harvest. My name is Pam Threatt, and today we're going to look into fermenting and all the good things it does for your body. And we're going to do an easy fix today. It's called Fermented Bean Paste. It's kind of like a bean dip with a zing, and you can have a quick meal in 15 minutes for your family. And all it is, it looks like this when it's done, but you may use any kind of bean you want. But today we're going to use pinto beans, and it calls for 1 cup, and this is 1 cup of dry pinto beans. And you rehydrate it, and when you rehydrate it, you soak it and then you cook it, and you need 3 cups. This 1 cup is going to make your 3 cups of hydrated pinto beans. And then we're going to add an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and mine are fermented. That's another thing. We do a lot of that in the South because we can't have cold storage. So we had to figure out ways to keep our harvest through our cold and then our heat. And we're going to use salt. Use a good salt. Now, you can use sea salt. I have got Redmond's real salt. You can also use like a Himalayan salt. Do not use your iodized salt because it'll kill your fermenting. Also, this one calls for whey, and this is some whey I use for my cheese. And this is what is going to make it ferment. But it's very easy to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put it all in a food processor. And here's the cooked beans, and we're going to measure them out. And remember, this 3 cups is 1 of these and a half. So we're going to take 3 cups. There's 2. Now those are our beans. And then it tells you we're going to add a whole onion in it. And this is a whole onion. We're going to put it in there. And it's strong. They do say a yellow onion. That was a yellow onion. And 3 cloves of garlic. Now these are from our garden a year ago, and I did ferment them, so now they're good. They just stay in my refrigerator. So I'm using 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to use a tablespoon of sea salt. Like I say, I use Redmond's real salt. As long as you use a good salt, you're good to go. I'm going to sprinkle it in there. Now you can leave it at that. If that's your flavor, if you don't like a lot of seasoning and all, you're good with that. You can add red pepper, you can add whatever you want. My personal favorite is cumin. It really sets well. Now, it depends on what kind of bean you use also. But we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. But sprinkle it in there. And then, you don't have to have a food processor. You can smash them. You can use an immersion blender. You can use a regular blender. Each one will give you a little different texture. This one will make it really smooth. And then just turn it on and let it go. Now you've got it all smooth. And now we're going to add the whey. And it only takes 4 tablespoons of whey in there. All right, now it is done. And we're going to put it in a jar in here. With this recipe, you don't have to have airlocks, you don't have to have weights. All you need is a quart canning jar and a wide mouth. You're going to take it apart, take the lid off, I like to take all that out. Put your funnel on. Now you will notice I left a lot of headspace in this jar, and there is a reason for it. You're going to take this lid and you're going to put it on pretty tight, and you're going to sit it on your counter. Twice a day, you're going to burp that and let the air out and put it back on. And it goes 3 days. And you'll think the first day, day and a half, it's not doing that. It's not doing anything. And then pretty soon you open it up and it pops. And you'll see bubbles coming up the top. On day 3, hold on to this because it will pop off. It will be completely fermented. Now that you have it, then you put it in your refrigerator, cool it off. It'll stay there for months. So what do you do with it? What makes this so good? It's high in protein, but you can add a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of candied jalapenos, some chips, some cheese, and you have an instant meal. You come home from your fellowship, here you go. It's a quick meal you can have immediately. But what makes this so good? Pinto beans are very, very low in calorie. They're going to fill you up. But they've also got the good fiber. They're low in sodium, but they're high in phosphorus. They've got your iron. You can't get a better thing. Now, why do you want to eat it? Why do you want to eat something fermented? It's helping your digestion, and we're hearing about it all the time. But it's full of the probiotic. It helps curb your sugar. So if you crave sugar, have that instead. Let it help you do that. And something I was surprised at, besides the fact that it does support your immune system, 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. So if you're feeding it sugar, if you're feeding it those things, chances are you're going to have some issues. This is going to help you. It's going to help you. And it reduces the anti-nutrients, but increases your nutrient absorption. So when you're eating it, it's not just you're eating it, it's giving you everything you need inside of it. Nothing's going to waste. When we go to Proverbs 31 and they talk about the woman, and her husband's in the gate and she's providing at home, she's running her household, which means she probably has to balance some budgets. She's got to do all that. Well, we do that too. And as we've seen, even with COVID, prices went up. Well, they haven't stopped. And so we're always looking for ways to feed our children, our family. For some of us, it's grandchildren. This is a great way to get high protein easily. They will like it. You can put it on a taco. You could put it on tostada shell and just do. The only caution I do have with these is not to heat it up over 100 degrees, because then you're going to take away the probiotic of it. But it's delicious cold. But for us as women trying to balance and keep everybody going, that's our job. We make sure they're fed. We make sure they're clothed, that they're getting school. And as that is, this is a great afternoon snack in the middle of school, or even in the morning, a quick breakfast grab. But we tie it back because that's our job. Our job is to make sure they're fed. Our children are hungry. If our children are not full and satisfied, everything is difficult for them. And in a world we live in today, things don't have to be so difficult for them. That's our job, is to make it easier to get through life. And then they grow up. But that's, this is easy on the budget. And these are organic beans, so there's nothing in them. And they cut finished out, they're like 22 cents a quart for this. And you could feed a larger family with 1 quart. If you have a garden, you could add lettuce, you could add tomatoes. If you've got dairy, you could do cheese, you can do sour cream. If you've not ever heard of candied jalapenos, it has different names like cowboy candy. All of those are delicious on this. Olives. You start adding in your other things, you could have a full meal, a full balanced meal on a tostada, on just a burrito, on a tortilla shell. Scoop it up. Who doesn't like chips and dip? So let's look at it as the fact that we're providing for our family because that's what Torah commands us to do. And we love to do that. But let's make it fun and not drudgery. And this is a perfect way to do it. So I'm glad y'all joined us. Remember something else, the whey. This is a dairy product. If you cannot find whey, there are different products you can use. We will list it in below. I think that you can buy a product that will make it do what you want it to do. If you have questions, let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer them. And we thank you for joining us. And y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.